My stepson's stepmother purposely buzzed his hair because she wants to be equal to me, but she is going to learn her lesson the hard way. My husband was previously married, and after they had agreed to divorce, she told him she was pregnant. We'll call his ex Kate. Kate had been cheating on Alex with Jess, female, for about a year. I had known Alex for years through mutual friends, and I met his son when he was 6 months old. So, in the present day, Kate and Jess are still together, but very hot and cold. I went to pick up my stepson from school. Jess had dropped him off, and he seemed quiet and sad. I asked him what was wrong, and he said he was sad because he had no hair. He has beautiful curly hair. He told us he wanted to grow out into a mullet. At that time, my husband cleared it with his mom that they were both okay with that, and she agreed to have me trim it as needed, like around his ears. He took his hat off and it was buzzed down to his scalp. I was shocked, but just said, "Well, I think you look very handsome, but I thought you wanted to grow it out. Why did you cut it?" Apparently, Jess was going to trim it and forgot to put a guard on. When she realized that, it was too late and she had to buzz it. When we got home, I called Kate. She didn't know how bad the haircut was and was tied up at a work event. She suggested I make sure I get the whole story on what happened. So with her permission, I went right to Jess after I called my husband, who was driving home from a couple hours away, and explained what was going on. So I called Jess, asked to verify what he said, and told her how upset he was. She said that is exactly what happened, but didn't see why it was such a big deal. She kept saying I'm overreacting and it's just hair, so I tried to explain that as a kid there's so much he doesn't get a say in, so it was a big deal to him. I told her she should never go near his head with clippers again. She came back with, "Well, you're not his mom," and when I reminded her she wasn't either, she said, "I'm a hell of a lot closer than you. I've been there since day one," to which I said, "Yeah, because you were an affair partner. Don't cut his hair again," and hung up. I called my husband back to explain everything and calm down. He had been on the phone with Kate discussing things as well, and I texted Kate to give an overview and say I was sorry if I overreacted. It's the next day and Jess is trying to tell Kate I shouldn't be allowed to cut his hair if she can't, and I need to get my parenting privileges taken away. I think that's crazy. And just to clarify my role as a step-parent, Kate and my husband meet twice a year alone to discuss parenting things, and at the last one, Kate said she is comfortable with seeing me as a parent and is ready to include me in the meetings going forward. Update. My husband talked to Kate about why Jess would do that and react how she did while he was driving home. Kate admitted she has noticed Jess asking questions about what I do and saying little digs at me around their son. Like he will tell a story from our house and she'll find a way to say something negative about me. She lightly called her out on this one time, and Jess had a really negative response. Kate and my husband were going to meet tomorrow to talk about it, but Kate called me very upset saying they got into a fight. She doesn't have a lot of family, so this isn't the first time she has called me needing someone to talk to that knows the whole dynamic. I said she could come over and talk about it if she wanted, and she took me up on it. So she came over, we all played Hot Wheels for a bit, seeing their son obviously helped calm her down, and then I took him to the playroom while Alex and Kate talked. Apparently Jess is tired of not being treated like as much of a parent as me in her eyes, and cut his hair on purpose, basically to make a parenting decision that couldn't be reversed. That came out in a heated blow-up from her when Kate insisted she was okay with me cutting his hair so he could have the style he wanted since I was good at it. Some more heated words were shared, and Jess gave Kate the ultimatum of, "Treat me as good as you do her, or we're done." Then she stormed off, and Kate called me. Next, Kate and Alex came in and talked to their son alone and asked some gentle questions about Jess while they played. He said sometimes she yells, and he doesn't like it, she has spanked him, and he wouldn't be sad if she weren't there. We all ate dinner together so our son could see that everything was okay, and we all told him how many fun things we could do with his hair as it grows back after Kate went home. My husband even buzzed his head and told our son that he thought it was so cool he wanted to match him. As of now, Kate is planning to end things for good, and I sure hope it sticks. Final update, 2 days later. Kate and Jess met to talk, and I don't know everything that was said, but all I do know is that Kate then told us she would be filing for a restraining order against Jess, and asked for my help because unfortunately, I have had to file for one before. Then, Kate and Alex met at our house and talked over what that means for their son, and that conversation turned into what my role is as a parent. Kate and Alex are now in the process of amending their parenting agreement, which frankly they said was overdue anyway because he's a toddler now, and all these agreements were made when he was an infant, and their divorce was really raw. They asked me if I would be comfortable being written into the agreement to have things like the ability to take him to the doctor, be a designated contact, and a next of kin if anything happens to them, etc. All schools and family members have been informed that Jess is no longer allowed near anyone in this family on either side, and some important conversations have been had.